And we are back, folks. Another edition of the Michigan Insider Film Breakdown focused on the defense with Vance Bedford looking back at Michigan's 33-9 victory over Northwestern. Vance, how you doing this week?
I'm doing fantastic. A little bit cool here in Colorado today, but otherwise than that, I can't complain about a thing.
Hey, man, got a little message to pass on to you. So I went out to San Francisco. That was one of my stops. I started out in New Orleans watching a kid. And then I stopped in San Francisco to watch a kid named Zeke Berry. So Zeke Berry is one of the top safety prospects in the country, number 63 player overall. And so I was interviewing his brother, and he said, man, tell Vance Bedford I love him, man. We sit down and we watch the breakdowns every single week. And so, Vance, you're not even on the payroll for Michigan no more. You're recruiting for him, man.
Hey, anything to help out the Big Blue, I'm all for it. My dog just jumped in the way. Let me get him down.
Say, man, I love Vance breakdowns. So you got some fans out there, man, that watch these breakdowns religiously. You have said, going back to, second week of the season, that motion, formation, trading tight ends, things that, teams do, offenses do to try to mess with your alignment. Those were the things that sort of would bother Michigan. And with varying degrees of, implementation, we've seen teams try to do some of that. But Vance, I mean, give me your expert eye. It felt like Northwestern tried to do that more than any other team today.
Northwestern did a great job game planning. They actually looked at the previous 4 or 5 ball games and looked at all the things that bothered Michigan. Unbalanced formations, motion, bunch formation. They gave them all those type of things. And it appears that during the open day, Michigan had 2 weeks to get ready. They actually spent time working on all those different types of adjustments. So it really gave them no problems. I mean, my hat's off to the Michigan staff, number one, for going over and correcting those issues. Also, a lot of respect to the Northwestern coaches. They did a great job game planning. And what people are seeing, I've been saying this the whole time, Sam, this Michigan team is special. The players are starting to play like Michigan's supposed to play. They got the players, and they playing to their potential. I love what I'm seeing right now out of Big Blue.
Yeah, now, granted, this is not talent-wise your typical Northwestern team, right? I mean, this is a squad that Pat Fitzgerald typically, they at least are playing 500 football, and they are not playing close to that this year. But, coming out of their bye week before the Rutgers game, so they had a bye week a couple weeks ago, they are playing better football. So Michigan, for fans who were like, man, why is Michigan having some issues with Northwestern? Everybody else is beating up on Northwestern. You made a good point. They are a well-coached team. They did have a bye to work on some things themselves. And, hey, man, Michigan is still Michigan. You're still going to get every opponent's best shot.
You are. It's anytime you play Michigan, it's a bowl game for the opponent. I mean, I know it's been a while since we won the conference championship, but still, to beat Big Blue is huge. And to me, when you can hold opponents to 9 points, the game's not close. I don't know what, as a fan, as a former player, as an old retired coach, that game wasn't close. We gave some excitement in the first half, but when it was time to put the metal to the pedal in the second half, all they saw was smoke, and we looked in the rearview mirror saying, waving goodbye.
That is true. But it was a little bit hairy at halftime, mostly because the offense had sputtered. The offense hadn't, taken advantage of all of its opportunities. But there was one play. They hit one big play, Northwestern did on the day, Vance. I said, I know we're going to be breaking this one down. And that's the 75-yard touchdown. So let's just start right there, Vance. The big play that Michigan gave up in this game. And we did go back and illustrate this play. So I'll bring it up and share it with the people. And then you can kind of talk us through it as I bring it to us in slow motion a little bit over here. Okay. So, all right. So Vance, here's the play. I got it up on the screen. Take it away.
Player from Michigan State.
Right now, you see the safety coming down in the box. He's like the extra linebacker. So the backer in the box, he had to plus over and turn the ball back to him. It's a great scheme by Northwestern. They run an inside zone. The entire offensive line is zoning to their right. Here we go. Pull run fix. I love it. So you see the 2 techniques, the linebacker, and the safety running coming down in the box. So your middle linebacker should actually plus all the way over and stack as we look at it to the right. He needs
Okay.
to turn the ball back to the safety coming down in the box. Okay.
Okay.
The offensive line going full zone to the right. The tackle, the left tackle is going to wrap around. But the key for this big play to happen is that the number 3 receiver, he blocks our post safety. That's I call that guy the insurance man. If everybody else falls down, he has to make that play. So they did a great job scheming us up right here. So they're going full tight zone to their right, defensive left. And the ball stretches. See the linebacker? If he turns the ball back, it's nobody to block the safety coming down. We have enough guys in the block just to be maybe a 3 or 4 yard game. So he doesn't turn the ball back. You can see the number 3 receiver block, cut the safety, and now it's off to the races.
Yeah, man. You know,
by Northwestern, and it's not necessarily great run fist execution by the linebacker in this particular situation.
Yeah, I think it's just youth. That's a freshman. That's a freshman right there.
It's a good thing to happen now, and now against Michigan State, where the game might be a lot closer. So, learning experience about knowing where your run fits, playing back to your help. So he's out of his gap right now. He's in the wrong gap, and there go the ball. 75 yards.
Yeah, off to the races right there. You know, hey, that was the one time that they really got him for, you know, a play of any significance on the day. Michigan had him pretty well bottled up. And if they hit him one way one time, Vance, you know, Michigan was very good at coming back and not letting them get beat the same way twice. So you made note of this with their toss sweep. So the next one I'm gonna bring up is the toss sweep with no edge, and they got Aiden Hutchinson on this play. Now,
yes, they did.
Now most this team, nor any other team for that matter, probably isn't gonna be able to get Aiden Hutchinson twice, and they weren't able to get Aiden Hutchinson twice in this game. We'll bring up toss sweep with no edge. This was a positive play, one of the few positive plays for Northwestern in this game. So here we go.
So right now we are playing straight man-to-man in the secondary. So we highlighted all the guys in coverage, and Aiden, who's the defensive end, he has to get the ball turned back to the blitz and all the guys man-to-man. So things we've been talking about for the last several weeks is a bunch formation. Well, guess what you see right now? A bunch formation. And they have a good scheme for this particular play. And on paper, they have us blocked. But again, it comes down to Aiden recognize he must be the force because we were playing man-to-man in the secondary. So let's let this run. Block down, kick around. And when you're playing man-to-man, you're going to have to step with your routes. What you see in the secondary, they got Aiden blocked. He comes underneath the block. But it's a minimal gain. I mean, it's a 6-yard gain. It's a good play by them. Great pursuit by the Michigan defense right here.
All right, so they come back to the way, because you know how you coaches are. Oh, we got him on that. Let's go get him again. Because why not? They got to show us they can stop it before we stop running that. So they went back to the well, and this time Aiden said, I see you. I see what y'all trying to do. So let me show y'all how ready I am for y'all to try to do that to me again. And he didn't let him, Vance. So I called this one toss sweep with edge. This is toss sweep with edge.
Almost the same identical look. You look at the secondary, we're playing man-to-man again. Same formation, almost the same play, but now Aiden recognizes what's going on. Fool me once, same on you, but fool me twice, that's not going to happen. So he does a great job recognizing what's about to happen and gets the ball turned back.
And look pre-snap, Vance. I mean, this is one of the things that sort of stood out to me. Look at how he steps out. Now he widens out.
Yeah. They got it corrected on the sideline. They got it fixed. So you're the edge. We're blitzing inside. You got to get the ball turned back. He attacks upfield. Now the pursuit inside out. It's great. That's what you call great defense. You know, you can make a mistake, but you're not going to see me make that same mistake again. That's a veteran defensive unit and excellent coaching.
And you could really, really see the comfort. We're not going to go through every sequence where you saw motion and you know, all kinds of trading the formation. We aren't going to show all that, but Michigan, they got lined up, Vance. They got lined up almost every time. They knew where to be. So to your point, you said they worked on this.
You know, when you have 2 weeks to get prepared, you go back and look at all the mistakes and issues you had early on in the season. They went through all those things really on every defense. And I told you this years early in the year, can you count to 3? If I'm a defensive end and they come in a bunch formation, I'm on number 1. The next guy, can I count to 2? There go 2. I line up right there. And that's all they did. I mean, you make it as simple as you can for the players. It showed. It showed that they walked through things. They got things corrected. The players didn't panic. I mean, I love watching these guys play football and watch how these guys coach.
All right. So, out the gate, they were able to get a little success. They were able to hit a play, and this was one that caught your attention right away because what it's doing, whether it's Aiden on one side or David Ajabo on the other side, these guys are defensive ends that are learning to play as stand-up players, right? They're learning to play in coverage. And so there are going to be times where maybe the recognition of some coverage concepts isn't quite where it's gonna be. I mean, it's getting better week by week, but this is one example that you pointed out, very first play of the game, Vance. You said, I bet you he didn't even see the motion guy coming across. And so this was one with David Jabo, as I share this one on the screen. Let me bring this up. And I believe that this is another example of, hey, you might have seen them get him this way this time. This is another really, really smart football player. You aren't going to see them, after you get them like this one time. You aren't going to see this too many other times. So here you go, man.
18 of 33.
Yeah, this is the first play of the game, too. And they motion and shifting. And so we got a zone blitz on it. Attacking zone blitzes right now. Okay. So you're going to see the nickel back coming. The safety rolling down, and Jabo has to drop. He's a curl flat defender. So it's 3 under 3 deep. Okay, and they motion across. So Jabo has the second man through the zone, as we call it. So you see the corner's getting run off. So that means Jabo, anybody else that goes deep to that side, he has to carry that guy all the way to the goal line. If not, there's nobody else left. So we're going to watch this play develop. This is a flood play off a bootleg.
So he winds up having to carry this here.
The motion guy across. Guy's running an out and up. We call it a wheel route. He has to carry him all the way through that zone, all the way to the goal line.
Gotcha. Okay.
Here's the game. In essence, he's playing with bad eyes. He never saw the guy in motion. His eyes on the quarterback all the time. So you can see he's looking in the backfield. He never sees the guy. And it throws it right behind him. Good job by the corner coming off, by the safety making a play. So it's a minimal gain. This could have been a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a really good job by the secondary rallying to the ball. This is a good call by these guys coming off the sideline with motion. Because normally you want your nickel back to the side of the slot formation. Mm-hmm. So by motion, they put the slot away from the nickel, which puts pressures on the defensive end.
Right. But hey, man. Learning.
First player of the game, and you know what? They got nothing out of it. Big play, first player of the game, and they didn't score off of that. So, hats off to the guys. They stood up and said, no big deal. Hey, that's one duck. We'll get you next play. And they did.
Yeah, man. But you watch, you look around, and the opportunistic plays, whether it's Aiden Hutchinson, man, just continuing to apply pressure. You made the point. Look, if you don't have other guys stepping up to make plays, it almost renders Aiden moot. But because the other guys are making plays too, when Aiden Hutchinson, it allows his pressure to be more impactful on the game. That you have other guys like DJ Turner. You want to shout out the spectacular interception that he made in this game, Vance. You need other guys to make plays like DJ made right here.
Yeah, we've been talking about what Dax can do, quite often this year, but it was great to see this young man come up and make this play because it builds confidence. And it shows the ability that other guys in the back end and on this football team can make plays when they need to make plays to give the team a chance to win. And that's what we saw in this particular interception. I love his concentration. I love his focus. I mean, he tipped the ball to himself. We're playing man-to-man. What a great play. That is a great individual play. And we're going to need that as the season goes on versus, Ohio State and some other people. Guys got to step up to the plate. He's playing the man-to-man, the press technique. What a great play and a confidence builder for the entire secondary.
Yeah, man. He had himself.
That is a great play right there.
Yeah. DJ had himself his best game as a Wolverine. It wasn't just that. It wasn't just that interception there, Vance. He had a screen that he blew up. Let me bring that one up. Where, I mean, one of the things that this entire defense, I think, does well is they tackle well. But if you want to talk about the strength of the secondary, I think that's their strength. They are good tacklers. It's one of the reasons why, you play as much zone and off coverage as they play. All right, well, you know what? It might give up some underneath things, but because they're so physical with their tackling ability, you might be able to dislodge some guys from the football or make those result in minimal gains like he does on this play here. So we're going to bring up this DJ Turner.
You got to know where he's at.
Blowing this one up, Vance. Boom.
It's great recognition, number one. There's great recognition of what's about to happen. And then he goes and makes a play. Good form tackle. I mean, you can't play any better than this. But again, bunch formation. Great recognition. He beats the block. Gets a TFL. And again, that's all the study, the video study that they're doing in the classroom, the teaching by the coaches, and the recognition by the players, by veteran guys. I mean, I love it. And watching these guys play, like I told you from the first ball game when fans sitting in the stands, I don't know about this team. Sam, what did I say back then? You remember what I said, Sam? I told the fans to get up, get out those seats, put the canes down, whatever they got. Call me for a little prescription here. I don't care what it is. We got to hook these people up, man. The big house is becoming a big house all over again. Coach Harbaugh got the boys playing and got a great staff, and I love what I'm seeing right now.
Yeah, so it was, they did a good job of keeping keeping the foot on the neck of an opponent they were better than. They had better guys than, man on man, they're 85 versus Michigan's 85. Or certainly when you boil it down to the top guys that actually play, they were just better than Northwestern. But it was noteworthy, to your point, that you said Northwestern had a really good plan. Northwestern had a really good plan, and so that at least gave Michigan some challenges as they prepare for Michigan State.
It did. You look at the first half, the game was pretty close. I mean, so Michigan finally figured we're a better football team. Let's just go play like it. And I think that gets us ready for the upcoming ball game against, that team with the other colored jerseys on. I mean, so we're going to be focused. We're going to be ready to play. It's going to be a defensive, physical game. It's old Big Ten football. You got two running teams. Both teams play great defense, good special teams. I'm going to go see if I can find an old Michigan jersey so I can put on and cheer these boys on and see who can hit the hardest.
So take me back to what you remember about Michigan State, Vance. I mean, you were a part of some really good games against the Spartans. Maybe the best game, our best Spartan, our best experience watching Michigan against the Spartans, 97. Who can forget the one-handed interception from Charles Woodson? So take us back to your experience with the Spartans, what you remember about that matchup.
Well, it started off, it's a physical ball game. We hitting each other, and they came out and did a fake field goal on us for a big play. And all they did was piss us off. After that, it was Katie Barter door. Woodson came out to one-hand interception. Marcus Ray and Tommy Henry just knocking guys out. They shouldn't have made us mad. It was like a sleeping giant. We came out the closet. We didn't have baseball bats. We had machine guns, hand grenades. It's like, look out. We finna blow you guys right out your own stadium. We own you guys. This is our stadium, our home crowd. Don't wear them Halloween color green jerseys out there. And that's what it's supposed to be like. There got to be an attitude when you play those people up there, man. If you can't have an attitude as a Michigan Wolverine, don't put on those wing helmets. That's right.
So they made you mad because they ran a trick play?
Oh, highly upset. I'm in the press box. I can see it. I'm going to time out. So when I get them boys on the sideline, I'm turning to those guys a new hope. I'm pissed off. So when I got pissed off, they got pissed off, and it was over with them. I mean, it's just like, hey, you shouldn't even show up. I mean, we brought out the paddles and say, we're going to the woodshed right now. You go out there and wait for us and beat yourself first. And when we come out there, we're going to finish the job. And that's exactly what we did. And Nick Saban was the head coach, and he did a great job coaching. But Nick, man, I tell you what, we put a whipping on him that day.
Yeah, they didn't have anything for Michigan that day, but this is the biggest game between these two teams since 1999. And in 1999, Vance, they got me. Michigan was number 3 in the country. Tom Brady's the quarterback. Of course, they were splitting time. They put Tom Brady on the bench for a minute and brought Drew Henson in, and the hole got deeper. Not because of Drew Henson, but the hole got deeper, and Tom Brady got in the game and actually brought him back to make the game somewhat in question. Michigan went on to lose that game 34-31. Nick Saban a little bit later on in the year goes on to LSU. But you have seen Michigan State at times in this rivalry rise up and take it to Michigan a little bit. And they took it to Michigan that day. They surprised Michigan last year, Vance. I'm sure the players will say, man, they had to come out of that game saying, how did we just lose to these dudes? So that was the game that laid the blueprint for every game after that last year, because they were the first ones to say, we're going to attack Michigan down the field. We're going to attack these corners and see what they do. And, man, they had a dude to go for 7 catches for 198 in that game, Vance. He had 2 receptions the rest of the season, but he had himself a day against Michigan last year.
Well, if I'm Michigan State last year, and I know you're going to play flat out man-to-man on me, you're going to walk up and press me, I'm throwing the football too. I don't see if kind of throw it over your head, because I'm on offense. It could be a PI. It could be a catch. So 6 or 7% of the time, it's something good for me. So I'm going to take my chance. We're playing a different defense this year. The way we pressure, the way we play zone, the way we play man, the way we disguise. This is a different Michigan football team. I mean, the attitude right now is that we are the old Michigan. We're going to play it that way. So we're not worried about Michigan State. When you're winning the way you're doing right now, you worry about yourself. You worry about what we can do each and every play. Whether it's a good play or bad play, it's behind you right now. We're getting ready for the next play. And that's what great teams do. Michigan is playing like a great football team right now. So it's not about what Michigan State brings to the table. It's about who we are, what we're going to do, and how we're going to put a whipping on these balls. It's just that simple.
And so they aren't putting their corners in the same kind of position Michigan isn't that they did last year. But you know what the attack plan is going to try to be. They're going to try to take advantage of Michigan in those one-on-one situations because they can run the football. So Michigan's running backs are really good. I think Michigan's running back situation best in the conference. Mm-hmm. Best tandem of backs, right? But they got a pretty good back over there named Kenneth Walker, a transfer from Wake Forest. Vance he's had some games where he's run over, through, and around people. So, I mean, if you're Michigan, your first focus has to be on stopping the run, right?
Well, we've done a great job already. We do a great job moving guys around, zone pressures, man pressures to keep people off balance. And I think that's where it starts at. If we can make the offensive line think, where is this guy coming from? Who's the next blitzer? It slows them down. And then we play from press, we play off, we play zone, we roll strong, we roll weak. So we do a variety of things to confuse the quarterback and the offensive line. So Michigan State's a good football team, okay? They're going to make a few plays, but at the end of the day, because of what we do defensively, I don't think long-term wise, we don't have a problem. The biggest thing is if our offense can score early by throwing the football over the top, and now you have to force Michigan State to throw the football, I might have put my uniform back on and come out there and play. I mean, because now they're going to be throwing some ducks, and we can go duck hunting. I got a little dog weigh about 14 pounds. I say, fetch, it's ready, and let's go.
Well, it's going to be interesting, Vance, because both teams, quarterback play. Can these quarterbacks take advantage of the opportunities that are going to be presented to them by the emphasis of the opposing defenses on stopping the run? It's a question mark because, Michigan can really get after the quarterback. And Hutchinson, David Jabo, zone, some of their zone pressures that they bring. Michigan State does a pretty good job. I mean, they have a defensive lineman that's right behind Aiden in the Big Ten standings in sacks right now. So Aiden's like number 1, this dude's like number 2. So they can put a little heat on the quarterback. Which quarterback is going to be able to make the most plays to me, that's going to be one of the stories of this game, Vance. But it is always a pleasure. I will end on this note. You often talk about contending for the Big Ten championship. Do you realize the winner of this game will be the only undefeated team in the league, Vance? Now, you still got to go through Ohio State, but the winner of this contest is certainly positioned to be the team that is going to challenge Ohio State. I mean, because now you got Penn State. They have a couple of losses, right? Iowa on the other side, they've dropped a game. I mean, this is whoever wins this contest looks like they're in the best shape to be the team that could give Ohio State some, the challenge that we all have been looking for some team to give Ohio State.
Well, so I don't take this standpoint. You said whoever wins this game. I already know who's going to win this game. Michigan. See, I said that? Michigan. See, there's no if, there's no maybe, there's no what. The Wolverines going to win this ball game. And special teams will play a big role in this game. Change of field position. If we get them backed up and keep them backed up, if we win the game of field position, which I know we'll win this ball game. It's just that simple. So special teams are going to play a big role. The defenses, I think, at the end of the day, going to be 0-0. Special teams and quarterback play will make a difference. Our quarterback is playing better and better in these ball games. He's getting more confidence. We're running the ball a variety of ways. They're doing a great job scheming things up. Do I have a doubt? Let me think here. Let me scratch my head. I don't have a single doubt in my mind what's going to happen in this ball game. You know what? I think I might go and have to bet my check. I forgot I don't work anymore. What's a beautiful thing.
All right, well, Vance, we will be here to talk about it next week. Looking forward to it. Like you said, it'll be a festive occasion for us to be talking about a dub, putting down the Spartans. Looking forward to doing that with you, Vance. Until next time, man, it's been real.
I appreciate it, and go blue, and let's go get this big win and keep things rolling.